You ready, ready, ready? You ready, ready, ready? You ready, ready, ready? You ready, 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 ready? Cleveland against the world.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I am sitting here solo today for a little edition of Dogs on the Run. Just 2 weeks left to go, or just 1 week left to go for the Browns as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers next week in the finale of the season. The Browns losing to the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday by a final of 17-13. It was an interesting game. We have a lot to talk about in today's show. Pierre Woods is going to Skype in today. Of course, we'll have Kenny Rhoda with us as well. So many storylines coming from yesterday. A lot of other good stories coming from around the NFL. A lot of question marks as we head towards the end of the season. So we've got a lot to talk about today on Dogs on the Run. Thank you for joining us. Excuse me, if you want to if you want to hit us on Skype, just go to Dogs on the Run. Real simple to get us. George will go to Lakewood in a second here. He's figured it out each and every week. And he's also realized that there are absolutely no rules on this show. Now, I have rules because I have to walk back into the newsroom and I don't feel like getting yelled at by my boss. But if you want to drop F-bombs, you want to say whatever you want, there are no rules. This is the internet, so say whatever you want. You can also call us at 216-431-3820. 216-431-3820. Of course, all of these beautiful things on the bottom line here. I feel like I'm doing a telethon. Give us a call at 216-431-3820. We'll try to raise some money for charity today as well. I don't know. Just kidding. Let's bring in Eric, the referee. Hi, Eric. How are you?
What's going on, Andy?
What's up with you, man?
Hey, just living the dream.
Saw Star Wars again, I heard, or you saw it?
I did. I thought it was magnificent. A lot better than this Browns team we watched on Sunday.
Can we do a little spoiler alert segment
Sure.
later in the show?
It's been a week.
Paula, did you see it? No. You didn't see it, so we can't do any spoiler alert stuff? Are you going to see it? Yes. So you don't want us to tell you that everyone dies? Everyone dies. They're not going to make 8 and 9. You okay? Now you still want to see the movie? Yeah. As we spoil it? Yeah. What have you heard? I'm just curious.
I it's awesome. Everyone's saying how great it is.
Yeah, everyone's saying how great it is. Do you know any of the storyline?
No.
Any of the plot?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know anything.
I mean, when Yoda turns himself inside out in this one, it's unbelievable, right?
Agreed.
It's amazing. All right, Eric,
Obi-Wan Kenobi plays a huge role in the movie. I can't
Which
believe
one?
it. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh,
Great.
You know what's really cool about Star Wars is when Iron Man comes up in the middle. Didn't you think that was cool?
One thing I got to say, Superman versus Batman. Did you see that preview, really?
Yeah, it looks great. No, what I don't like is the end because it looks like they're friends at the end. I wanted them to not like each other.
Okay.
I think
that's a stupid premise to a movie. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think the movie's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. I'm wondering how Ben Affleck's going to be as Batman. Hey, anyways, the Browns lost yesterday. I'm not quite sure if you saw that. What's your take on the game?
Johnny Manziel, he looked all right, but we need help around him. The defense played better. We actually ran a little bit, but our wide receivers are terrible. Just terrible. The one thing I want to, and we'll digest this, is why was Terrell Pryor inactive and Dwayne Bowe a captain?
It's a great question.
Dwayne Bowe was a
Mike
captain.
Pettin has been giving guys, when they go back to their own city, like, I don't know if you noticed in Seattle, Danny Shelton was a captain the week before. Guys that had played in Seattle, guys that had, called the Pacific Northwest their home, he's been giving them the opportunity. Why Dwayne Bowe was a captain yesterday was, he could have been inactive and they could have made him a captain, right? I don't think that's a problem. Hey, as long as he tells them if they want to kick off when they go to, that was the Patriots game. Kick off when they go to overtime. Let's bring in Kenny Rhoda, the road man. Kenny, hi.
Morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to Ohio State and Notre Dame later this week. But we
You and me both.
The Browns, so.
At least we've got somebody to root for this week, right? I mean, somebody that's going to give us a chance to win.
Absolutely. And maybe, we could talk about the Cavs, too. I'm a little upset with our coaching, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Your thoughts on the Browns yesterday?
I thought they stunk in the first half, and they came out and made some halftime adjustments, something we haven't seen quite a lot of this year. So while the game plan sucked in the first half by the coaching staff, that same coaching staff able to make some halftime adjustments, and they made a game of it and came up short. So when you look at the overall picture, a little bit of progress, not much, A loss is a loss is a loss is a loss. Mike Pettin is now 10-21 in his 2 years as head coach of the Cleveland Browns. And what have they lost here now? 17 of their last 20 games. So still not enough for me to bring back Mike Pettin and his coaching staff and the front office. As Eric pointed out, the wide receivers are the worst in the entire National Football League.
All right, so let me ask you this question because this came up yesterday. Do you think Kansas City just came out in the second half and said, these guys suck, we just got to go through the motions in the second half?
I think that had something to do with it. They took the Browns lightly in the second half, thought they could just run the ball, run the clock out, and get the victory and clinch a playoff spot, and that would be it. So I think that had something to do with it. So give the Browns a little credit for fighting to the end. I know Mike Pettin's going to talk about that they didn't give up, and these guys aren't quitting, and they're going to play the last game like it's there for a playoff spot. So give the Browns some credit. But, yeah, I think Kansas City took their foot off the gas. And also, they're not a great offensive team. So when you combine those two things, the Browns made a game of it.
All right, next question for you. What did we learn about Johnny Manziel?
Johnny Manziel needs to run to be effective as a quarterback, and that's not going to work in the National Football League. Just ask Robert Griffin III.
Yeah,
That's what I learned yesterday.
I agree with that. And it's a sad thought that your quarterback is your leading rusher. He's got over 100 yards. It's not the way you're going to win games. They did seem like they – the one thing I will say about Manziel is, and I've been saying it all season, compared to last year, he seems coachable. When he did run the ball yesterday, he ran it at the right times. He found, nothing was open. We talk about how bad the wide receivers are. When Johnny did run the ball, it seemed to me like he stayed in the pocket the appropriate amount of time, that his wide receivers were giving him nothing, and that he had to make a move. Now, there were, that nice run in the third quarter, the long run, that was, planned out. That was a bootleg. We all knew what was going on there. But I thought that he took the time to make sure he did things right yesterday. It's what gives me hope for Johnny Manziel, is that he has proved to me that he's coachable. Now, if he could get his idiot friends away from him with cell phone cameras every time he wants to touch anything with 0.0001% alcohol in it, that would be the next move, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Kenny, agree, disagree?
Yeah, I like the fact that he has listened to the coaching staff. He's trying to stay in the pocket, but I think he realizes with the lack of playmakers around him, the only way plays are going to be made is if he takes off and uses his feet, which what's the best way to put this? In high school and college, his feet were his biggest asset, but he also had a few playmakers around him. This year, there are no playmakers with the exception of Gary Barnidge, and we saw the interception in the first half. What happened there is he was trying to hit him. So other teams have taken away Barnidge. There's nobody to go to, and Johnny's saying, all right, I'm going to make a play somehow, some way. I'm going to look my first, second, and third guys, see if they're open. If not, I'm taking off. I've got to try and get us some yards, keep the drive alive, and they did that with that great drive in the second half. But you can't do that for 16 games. It's just not going to work. His body
Also,
would not be able to
footwork.
withstand the punishment.
He doesn't have his Mike Evans. That's exactly what it is.
Honestly, I said that at the beginning of the year, Andy, when he was throwing balls up for grabs, thinking, was Johnny that good in college, or did Mike Evans make Johnny that good in college? And here, he has no Mike Evans. You're absolutely right. So we're seeing what maybe Johnny Manziel really is.
But could he have his Mike Evans and Josh Gordon next year?
You proved to me that, first of all, Josh Gordon's got to get reinstated. We're all kind of jumping the gun on this. He's got to get reinstated.
I agree. I agree, but I'm saying, could he be that Mike Evans if?
Yeah, is Mike Evans going to stay clean? That's the next question. I'm sorry, not Mike Evans. Josh Gordon going to stay clean. Sorry, Mike Evans.
Well, both of them going to stay clean? I mean, are you really banking on Johnny Manziel and Josh Gordon as your two franchise players to move this team forward, to take it to the next level? Two guys that have had issues off the field, two guys that have been suspended or benched by the team or the league. Can you really count on both of those guys? I know I heard what Josh said last week, and that's great, but let me see him get tested. Let me see him stay clean the entire offseason if he does get reinstated at the end of this season. So I can't bank on both of those guys. I think about that. You're counting on two guys that have off-the-field issues, okay, deuces, that you're counting on to lift this team, and I just can't trust that.
Let's go to George in Lakewood. George is standing by. He understands the no rules effect on this show. George, how are you doing today?
I'd be better if anybody could fucking block on the line when they kick a field goal.
That would be nice.
Yeah, there were like 6 guys in the backfield. Again though, I don't think they have George. I don't think they have any confidence in Travis Coons to kick a long field goal. The trajectory, still can't say it,
Trajectory.
is low. It's low.
Obviously, I'm not going to disagree with that. Not at all. But still, can you not goddamn block a simple field goal situation? Not, then you don't trust the kickers, you stated. And maybe we need to look at others. Oh, geez, we obviously need playmakers. Oh, geez, I forgot about that. Any playmaker, any type. Now, I heard a rumor this morning that Ron Wolf's son, quote unquote, might be interested in the GM job, bringing in his father as an advisor.
Yeah,
I don't know how much validity that is.
That's been sneaking around. What you're going to have now is you're going to have a lot of names floating around on everything.
Oh, obviously.
So, let me ask you this, George. George,
yes.
Hang on a second. Is Mike Pettin your coach a week from Tuesday? Is he still the coach?
No, I see black bags packing just like Mike. I'm sorry, like Ray Farmer.
So you think
Black
they're
bags.
both gone?
Black Monday, black bags, they're out of here.
All right. George, any other thoughts? We got a kind of a bad audio line with
Yeah,
you.
how about a shout out to the Lake Erie Monsters for snapping
Nice.
a streak yesterday. Mr. Rhoda might have some input on that. He was live at that game yesterday.
Yeah, I was the only one not at the game yesterday. My whole family went to the game yesterday. They had a great time as well. Chuck-a-Puck was great at the end. That's all the kids were talking about. Chuck-a-Puck.
Right.
Chuck-a-Puck. All right, George. Happy New Year to you.
Happy to see you. Go Bucks. We need a W. That would be nice.
All right. We'll see you later. Thanks, George. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. George from Lakewood chiming in. 1 F-bomb. What's our count on F-bombs this morning here?
3.
3? He didn't drop 3, did he?
Yep, 3.
George, I can still see you. Hold up your fingers. Only 1. Yeah, it was 1 F-bomb. It's a 1 F-bomb Monday. Because apathy is
multiplied
set
by
in.
3.
There's 3 or 1, George?
1.
1.
But it should have been fucking
You forgot
3.
about the 2 that
Now
Snowy
that's
said.
2, and
Snowy
it should
said 2.
have fucking been 3. Now it's 3.
3. He just got his total up. Okay, here. George, I'm going to write you down for 3 F-bombs. Utilizing the no rules here on Dogs on the Run. Okay, George, now we got to let you go. Oh, talking about mailing it in. Can we bring this up already? Are we ready for this? Is it clean? Yeah. Eric, can I take it?
What are you talking about?
Line 1.
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, it's like screening the calls. Takes forever. Kenny, do you see what I have to work with here? I mean, it's just subpar.
Do you see that I'm on the phone? I mean, come on.
Yeah, all you do is say hello and put him on hold. No, flag yourself. It's a flag for you, man.
He's on air.
He's on there. Pierre, can we hear you?
Morning.
Morning. Can you not
There
figure
we
out
go.
Skype this morning or you just can't get in?
No, I don't know, man. I'm not good with Skyping.
You're not good with it?
No, this
He's
is
having
Apple,
technical
man. I don't know nothing about the Apple computers.
All right, well, we'll leave you on the phone line then for the rest of the show. Is that what you want to do?
That's what we want to do.
Fine.
All right, you're on. Pierre, Kenny and I are wondering what you think of yesterday's game.
I thought the Browns played tough. They play tough away instead of at home. So I hope this last game is just not like they're just going to lay down and take.
Well, I have great news for you, Pierre. Sunday's game
that?
is going to be like an away game. There are going to be so many Steeler fans there.
Well, I hope they fight. Put up
Oh.
a fight anyway.
You want to see a fight on Sunday?
Yeah.
All right, what did we learn about Johnny Manziel, Pierre?
He likes to run. I mean, we all knew that, but, he had more rushing yards than the tailbacks.
Second time this season we've had a 100-yard rusher. Pierre, can he survive in the NFL as a running quarterback?
Nope. It would not happen. I mean, he has to stay behind the line. They have to block. But that's just showing you the type of trust that he really has in them. If some stuff breaks down, he takes off, and he makes the best do what he can. But you're going to take a lot of hits if you keep doing that.
Pierre, as we sit here 1 week from, I would say 1 week from today, you tell me, who's still around? Who's your head coach? Who's your GM? 1 week from today.
I think they should keep the head coach. I mean, last week we were saying get rid of him. The GM, what they need to do is just go back in house and find new scouts. That's where they really hurting at. But if we change the whole regime again, it's going to be the same thing, year in and year out. Guys going to come in, just want to get paid, and they're not going to do anything else.
Let's go back to Kenny. Kenny, your thoughts on what happens a week from today?
I think the Steelers obviously screwed up yesterday. They controlled their own destiny. They cost themselves a playoff spot possibly yesterday because if the Jets and Kansas City win next week, Steelers are done. So this game though still has meaning to them. So they're going to play it as if it is a playoff game and hope the Jets get to Buffalo Rex Ryan. So they're not going to lay down. This isn't going to be a game where they rest their starters. This means a lot. So the Browns have a chance to play spoiler. While the Steelers believe they have playoff hopes, and like you said, there'll be a ton of Steelers fans in that stadium. So the Browns are going to have a tough game next week. I don't think their offense will be able to score enough points to keep up with the Steelers' offense against that Browns defense because the Steelers won't take their foot off the gas next week because of how much the game means to them.
I'm interested to see. Matt Lodi will join us at 8 o'clock to talk about the Steelers. What happened with that offense? Because ESPN said they had the most high-powered offense in their rankings last week, and they against the Ravens secondary that has just been torched all year. And I think in the third quarter, Roethlisberger had 36 passing yards.
Well, let's give credit where credit is due. I mean, clearly Ryan Mallett is a first-class starting quarterback in the NFL and deserves to be.
Yeah, or anybody can beat anybody on any given day, and division games are always tough to win, no matter what.
Yeah, they are. They are. It was interesting.
Remember this: the Steelers secondary stinks, guys. Johnny Manziel threw for 372 yards against that Steelers secondary, so that's their weakness. They've just been outscoring people for the most part this season. Their defense is good against the run, but it's horrific against the pass.
Right. They secondary is suffering, and Baltimore just had a great game plan. And Baltimore actually kind of lost the game for themselves. Upshaw being offsides on the 1 yard line, but being through the pick.
Yeah. Hey, Kenny, let me go back to the other question of 1 week from today. Who survives for the Browns?
I clean house. Sorry, Mike Pettin, nice guy in that, but defense was supposed to be his calling card. They stink on defense this year. Yesterday, decent second half, but the two touchdowns were so easy in the first half. The run defense is horrific. They're 3-17 in their last 20 games. I'm not keeping Mike Pettin just to keep Mike Pettin for continuity's sake, for stability. He's not a good head coach. Some coaches are made to be head coaches. Other coaches are made to be assistants. Romeo Crennel comes to mind. So when you look at it from that standpoint, I'm cleaning house. Mike Pettin, Jim O'Neill, Steve Filippo, everybody. I'm getting rid of the entire coaching staff. Ray Farmer's gone. I need to be a better talent evaluator. So we're not looking at Dwayne Bowe and three midgets playing a wide receiver for whoever the quarterback is to throw to, and they still haven't found a quarterback since 1999. So you're going to have the worst record in the league, or at least tied for the worst record in the league. So I don't think keeping the coach around is going to be the right move. I think you go out and you find a coach that has a proven track record. No more first-time coordinators who want to be head coaches. Go out and find a guy who is either A, taken a team to the Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl. You find a guy that has a proven track record evaluating talent. They can't do this first-time crap anymore.
How soon is this firing? Is this a Sunday night thing?
It's Monday.
Is it a Monday morning?
It's Monday.
4:05 p.m.
It's going to be hard for them to find a coach that wants to come in and really wants to come to the Browns.
I understand that, and that's fair, Pierre, but you're offering up this. You're offering them the first pick in the draft to try and build a team, and you're offering them an opportunity to come into a fan base that, loves its football team and will support a winner. And also you're going to be offering them a boatload, or what do they say on DraftKings, a shipload of money? Yes, that's what you're offering that head coach to come in. You may even give him some GM power to help go shopping for the groceries, as Bill Parcells like.
All right, but Kenny, based on what you're saying, how are you going to bring in a veteran coach that has experience? Who's coming in? Who are you bringing in?
Well, Bill, when Ryan Billick's out there, and for some reason he hasn't received any opportunities. And I don't know what if he's been blackballed or whatever it is. You might have Sean Payton, who could be available with the New Orleans Saints, making some changes at the end of the season. Let's see who is around or available once this season comes to an end, because I don't think Cleveland is the only place where there's going to be a head coaching pick.
Here's a random name that I think is a long shot. Bill Cowher. Any chance he comes back?
No, Bill Cowher's loving what he's doing.
Oh. And I think he enjoys watching the Browns lose. Let's be honest. Wouldn't you?
He started there. He
was a special teams player. I mean,
but he doesn't want to come back and coach in Cleveland.
Why would you? Unless you're going to be the guru. Unless Jimmy handed him the whole franchise.
If Sean Payton gets the job, it's going to be New Orleans North.
What about Chuck Pagano? Does that do anything for you guys?
No.
Neither one of you?
No.
Nothing. All right. Well, that was a quick conversation. Let me ask you. I'll ask both of you guys this. Let me hold on, because I got a couple questions I want to ask you. I do want to bring Howie in, because Howie's in for a rough week. So Howie, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Andy, and yeah, we're ready for a shitstorm.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be fun at all to be right there in the bowels of Steeler territory. Your thoughts on this?
And the bad thing is, it's not going to be televised locally. They're only going to have the Ravens game on, so we'll have to be at the bar with 1,000 of them.
Oh, with all the Steeler fans will be there? That's weak.
Yeah. Fortunately, we do have our own room, so we can hold up to 50 or 60 people.
Howie, your thoughts on yesterday's game, and what did we learn about Johnny Manziel?
I want to start one other possible coach first. You guys didn't mention he may get fired after yesterday. That's Tom Coughlin. He may be available.
Yeah, the list seems to be endless at this point. The question is who's coming here. The other. Let me just say this to all three of you: they better hire a general manager first, as I don't want to go through this anymore with this whole the general manager and the head coach aren't on the same page. If they're going to go down with the ship, let them go down with the ship together. Or if they're going to rise to the top, let them do it together. But clearly, what we've seen over the last 2 years is a general manager and a head coach that don't seem to be on the same page. And I got 9 million reasons in Dwayne Bowe to give you that what you need to know, and Justin Gilbert, and I can keep going. Kenny, GM first.
Unless that head coach is the general manager and he gets to pick his team, and that might be something you have to offer to get a big name here. You might have to say, all right, I'm going to pay you $8 million a year to be the head coach here, and I'm going to give you the GM duties as well, so you get to pick the players you want to try and turn this thing around. So you may have to offer a lot of money as well as complete power, complete control of the organization. And with the way things have gone, if it's the right guy, I don't have a problem with that. Again, we're going to have to wait and see who's available.
What would you be okay with another George Coquina situation? Is that what you're setting up?
No, I'll pass on George Coquina.
I'm not saying him personally. I'm saying a situation like George Coquina.
How about that guy in the picture behind you?
Jim Tressel, right? Now, I think he likes what he's doing at Youngstown State. The last time I talked to him, so I don't think Urban Meyer or Jim Tressel aren't going to coach the Cleveland Browns anytime soon. Again, he doesn't have any NFL experience and has not taken a team to the Super Bowl or won a Super Bowl, and as good as Jim was in college with all of his national championships, I don't see him being damned.
Pierre, just GM first, clearly, right? We're on the same page?
Definitely GM first. I think about two guys off back, Floyd Reese. Then you got Scott Pioli. Both of those guys have built teams. One built Tennessee, then the other built New England.
What would it take to get Pioli?
That guy.
What would it take?
I mean, I don't think it would take much to bring either one of them in, but you just definitely have to bring in a guy who's a guru that knows football and can get some real scouts in here. Cleveland scouts, what's up?
Howie, other thoughts heading into this week?
Okay. Thoughts on the game real quick.
Sure.
What Kenny said about the defense, it was hideous in the first half. And again, the scheme, the setup, they didn't even think about containing Alex Smith, who was the second leading rushing quarterback in the NFL going into this week. I watched a wide receiver come across in motion, and he was being chased by a linebacker, and there was nobody left on that side of the field other than Paul Kruger, who never contains. It's the design of the defense that's poor. And about the receivers, yeah, we're hurting at receiver. But one thing I noticed yesterday, Johnny Manziel missed a lot of guys by throwing behind him, just enough that the guy could maybe get his arm back and touch the ball, but not make a catch. And then he had 3 or 4 that he floated when he should have thrown, or threw it when he should have floated it. You know, he didn't have a good game. He did what he had to in the second half, but if you watch his press conference, he was very disappointed. And he and Benjamin were on the wrong page in that one he threw into the corner. Benjamin saw a post, and Manziel saw a fly, and he threw the fly. And, you know, he was at all.
All right, Howie, good luck to you this week. And seriously, I mean, just make sure you walk into the bar with like maybe a rain poncho or something, because it's going to get ugly in there.
Oh no, I've got a bright orange fedora, and I'm wearing my golf knickers and my Argyles and my patent leather Cleveland Browns sneakers next week. I'm going full tilt. Bad thing is, I'd hate to go to jail like that if there's a fight.
Yeah, that would be bad in jail. You may want to. Well, at least you'll have your orange jammies on already, so you'll be good to go.
Well, there you go. And the thing is, about all the Browns fans, if we ever get arrested, we do look good in orange.
Well said. Us in Tennessee. All right, thank you, Howie. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, I want to switch gears just a little bit, and Eric, the referee, I need you to tee this up. Thanks, Howie. We'll talk to you soon. Can we tee up the video from Manziel, the Christmas thing?
Yes.
Did you see this, Kenny?
I have not. No.
All right,
no,
here's your first chance. And I don't know, Pierre, have you seen this?
I haven't seen it either. I would love to see it though.
Are you near a computer at all, or no?
I am. I'm in front of the computer right now.
All right, go to Newsnet
If he calls
5,
me
dial
back,
up the
then
show. You'll
I
watch
can see
yourself. And then this was, just set this up for me, will you?
So this was over the holidays. It hasn't been said where, but apparently a buddy of Manziel's took this video of him partying, and he has a can in his hand. Now, what the can is, it's not fully clear. It does, though, look like a malt beverage. So think of it as you will, but here's the video.
Dirty soda in a styrofoam. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on the dash.
All right, well, what do you think? First of all, Eric, break it down for the tragically unhip person like me, the middle-aged white guy that wears dad jeans. What are we seeing in some of this
So that was
stuff?
a music video called The Dab. It's kind of a new trend.
Okay, that's the old video. I don't want to see that.
Don't say it like that, Eric.
But, I mean, my problem isn't the video itself, isn't what he was doing in the video. My problem is, why did he let his friend or whoever take the freaking video? Hasn't he learned his lesson? I mean, he should at least know that if the video gets out, it's going to be a big deal, even if it's something as minor as him just dancing with a can.
Eric, listen, this guy knows what he's doing. He's an idiot. I'm tired of. You can't use a young age anymore. If he has some type of liquor or whatever in his hand, he's dancing, having a good time. He has to understand he's under the littlest microscope of everything. He's a big fish in a little pond, and he's going to keep doing the same stupid thing. So that's why we're going to draft a quarterback.
Kenny?
My thoughts on that, hey, he wants to have fun, and that's fine. It looked like he was in a house or something, wasn't at a bar or whatever. Just tell your friends, guys, come on, help me out here. I want to remain friends with you guys, but you're making it hard on me because you're putting me in a bad position when all these videos get out. He needs to step up and either A, cut ties with those friends who continue to put him on video or take pictures, selfies, and put them out there for him. Or B, control them and Bay or Boo Boo or whatever her name is, so there are no incidents on the highway or in the bar or in his apartment or house or wherever he lives. My biggest concern, like I said with Josh Gordon to you, Andy, if you remember going back to the draft a few years ago, isn't when it's football season, it's when it's not football season, and they have all that free time to do whatever they want. Can they control themselves? And if he had a malt beverage there, we don't know why he was in rehab. We don't know if it was for alcohol or other substances, okay? So if it's not alcohol and he's not an alcoholic, he's allowed to have a beverage or two, or it may be his vice to replace whatever he is or was addicted to. So he just needs to keep a low profile. Whether or not he understands that is still up in the air.
I can't understand, and maybe you guys can help me with this, and Eric especially. I look at this and I just say to myself, you're stupid for putting yourself in front of the video, and your friends are even bigger idiots. The DJ in Vegas, he's a complete moron. Why would you put that out? Why would you do this to your friends? And he's got to know that he took a video. I mean, unless you're so hammered that you can't remember in the morning that you took a video, this is stupid. It's dumb. I hate the whole situation. The Browns can't do anything about this now. What, Mike Pettine's going to suspend him for the last game against the Steelers because of that video? No, he's not. We've already gone through this. He has proved to Mike everything he needs to know. The only person that he's got to prove anything to now is Jimmy. And if Jimmy's going to be accepting of this, then just roll with it because this is the way it's going to be. If Haslam wants this, he knows he's got it. If he's winning, it's not a big deal. It's fun. It's Gronk. You're not winning. Your team has 3 wins. People want to know that you're at least focused and that you don't have whole friends that keep putting these videos out. It's ridiculous.
Question for you guys. Do you guys put any blame on Coach Mike Pettin or General Manager Ray Farmer for not having control of their players? I know it's outside off the field, but you also got the incident over the weekend with Deontay Sanders and Armani Bryant.
They're coaches. They're not babysitters. Listen, if you got fired tomorrow, should we blame your manager? Should we blame, like, if I kicked you off the show right now, which is what I feel like doing. No, I'm just kidding. If I kicked you off the show today, is it my fault? If you did something stupid, you had a gun in your car or illegal drugs, is it my fault? No. No. You can be a man.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this young. Be a man. Just don't hang out with idiot friends that are going to put videos out there. I don't think it's that hard. Kenny.
At the end of the day, he's at home in his own confinement, behind his own walls. You don't have to tape everything that you do. Why incriminate yourself for everything that you do? It's the most retarded thing you can do. And your friends are not their friends if they're going to keep putting you on film and putting you in front of everybody in the public eye to see, oh, I'm a drunk or I'm a this or I'm a that. It's not fair to him. But at the same time, he's still got the same idiot friends around him. He's like
exactly, Pierre. That's the point. It's just like, don't blame Johnny Manziel, blame Ray Farmer and Jimmy Haslam who drafted him. In this case, don't blame his friends, blame Johnny Manziel who allows his friends to stay around and take these videos.
And Paula brings up an interesting point. She's looking at the video. She thinks
we can't hear both of you at the same time. Man. Go ahead, Pierre.
I mean, that's why Justin Bieber got kicked out. We got kicked out when he was in California because him and his friends kept doing the dumb things, but he was allowing his friends to do it.
Now, what were you going to say?
Johnny Manziel, he keep allowing his friends to do the same thing and makes him look bad. That's what he has to understand. He's the face of the franchise. You can't do that as the face of the franchise.
That's why if I were Mike, I'd kind of be like, hey, you know what, Mike? We appreciate what you've done over 2 years. 10-21. Yeah, you've lost, 17 of your last 20. Here's a big fat check like everybody else has. And you see Chud over there? He's still smiling because he's making money. I still think Chud, though, and Eric, I'll give you a second here. I think firing Chud after 1 year is the one thing that crushes Jimmy Haslam in any negotiation with anybody he's got. I think Chud comes back to haunt him right now. This is where firing Chud after 1 year haunts him. And then coming in 6th place to get a head coach for Mike Pettin. It's not going to be an easy task, and Jimmy Haslam is going to have to overpay for anybody he brings in should he decide to do fire. Hey, there's a part of me that thinks Jimmy's not firing anybody next week. I wouldn't be surprised if both guys get fired. I wouldn't be surprised if both guys stay. But this Manziel thing in the videos makes you wonder if this would be the final straw with Mike. So if Mike's out, he won't care.
This is what I feel.
Okay.
If I'm Johnny Manziel, as soon as you come to my house or as soon as we go out somewhere, if I got to hire a bodyguard, anybody in VIP with me, I want their phone. Period.
Yeah, literally hire somebody to be a phone guy. I mean, literally, why? Exactly. You're taking a video? Oh, no, give me that phone.
You don't think there are other high-profile guys in this town that do the exact same thing? You can come into this house, you can party with us, you can hang with us, but your phone is going in that basket right there. You don't think that happens? It does. Right,
I've seen
Pierre?
some of the guys at Bar Louie that were drinking, having a good old time.
Right.
They weren't filming it. They was getting lit. Right after they got their ass whooped.
Kenny,
In
fire away.
Seattle, but they were in Bar Louie getting lit.
It comes down to Johnny Manziel taking control of his own life and making his friends understand that if you're going to hang with me, if we're going to go out, this is the way it's going to be. And we have to, sit here as media members, as fans, and wonder, is he mature enough to do that? Or does he like the fact that his so-called brand is out there and he's, a party animal and he's playing to his demographics? Well, maybe playing to his demographics, but if he keeps this up, he won't be playing in the NFL.
Eric, the referee, where are we going next? Skype 1?
Skype 1, Jake Wilkoff from the Chi-Town Dog Pound.
From Chicago?
Yes.
Jake. Hey, Jake, are you ready? I see you're you good, Ben? Looks good.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. Hey, first of all, Jake, let's just tell me where the Chi-Town Browns backers hang out.
We go to Red Ivy, Wrigleyville.
Okay.
Red Ivy and Wrigleyville, right field.
How many members do you have in that club?
We have members, 200 on the website.
Wow.
But we have about 100 to 400 that come on a good day. Right now, the numbers are very much on, as you might raise 3.
Hey, I'll tell you what, we're having a little bit of audio problems. I'm going to have Eric call you back on the phone so we can talk to you. You look great. The audio's, it's not your fault. But Eric's going to call you back. We'll put you on the phone. Thanks, man.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk to you in a couple seconds. Look, Pierre figured out Skype as well. So let's go to Skype 2. Hi, Pierre. You don't have to be on the phone anymore.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so put the phone down. Let's see if this works. Hi, Pierre.
What's going on?
All right, so move your camera up so we can see the top of your head, so we don't see half your eyes. There we go. That's TV for you.
All right.
Pierre, now that we have you on the line, again, I want to reiterate a couple of the big storylines that we're going through this morning. Ready? First one, Mike Pettin, Ray Farmer, do they have a job next week?
I don't know. I hope they do, but I don't know.
All right, the next storyline we've been talking about, evaluate Johnny Manziel's play from yesterday.
His play is his play. He's going to do what he does. What was best for him, the same thing he did in college was run the ball. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to run the ball more so than throw the ball. He only had 100-some passing yards, which is right on line with Johnny Manziel.
All right, I want to play something for you that we saw. This is from the Patriots game yesterday. Eric, the referee, you got that? You got it? All right. You saw this yesterday from the Patriots game yesterday, the coin flip in overtime. You saw this, yes or no?
Yeah, I did see minutes later.
Let's play it for everybody. Let's take a look. And then I want to ask you what's Bill thinking.
Side his tails. Heads. Heads is the call. Heads is the call. It is heads. You want to kick. You want to kick off. You want to kick off. You're going to receive. That way. Which way do you want to receive? Where do you want to receive at? That way? Okay, just like this. New England wins the toss. They elected to kick.
We won, don't we get to choose?
There wasn't any confusion. Just to answer that same question, there was no confusion.
We won the toss. We chose to kick off, just like Coach instructed us to. And the only confusion was, whether or not we got to choose which direction we got to kick the ball. Mm-hmm. And because we won the toss and we chose to kick off, then they got to choose which way they wanted to receive the ball. So that's the way it was explained to me. And, obviously we wanted to kick off. That's what Coach wanted to do. So that's what we did. When we won the toss, we elected to kick off.
All right, Pierre, answer all my questions. Did Bill Belichick, because I got conspiracy theory going here from Eric, the referee. That's not what he wanted. He was just sticking up for his player. I clearly believe that's what Bill Belichick wanted to do. He wanted to kick off. Tell me, what happened?
I don't think that he wants to kick off because he wants to get off this opportunity to win a game. So I think that they really wanted to receive the ball. but Slater probably slipped up and said, "Look, let us kick off." And when they did that, that's when everything just went in. Everything just went in shambles.
All right, Pierre, Mike Pereira from Fox said that oftentimes what happens is that coin flip is just to determine who gets to make the call, that the referees walk over to the head coaches prior to a flip and say, if you win, what do you want?
No.
That's not true.
It's not supposed to happen like that. It's the players that's out there, they make the call. And when they make that call, especially in overtime, because we've seen it happen numerous times. I think Pittsburgh played in a game where they won a coin toss or something like that, or messed up. Somebody messed up. Pittsburgh, Detroit. It probably was the Super Bowl, I think.
Yeah.
Where they played Seattle and they made the call. It's almost like the same thing with Matt Slater yesterday. Slater said he wanted to receive the ball, but instead he said he kicked him off. So they didn't get the choice of which way they wanted to kick the ball off from, which I'm pretty sure happened because of the wind down there in East Rutherford.
I don't know. Bill's reaction afterwards, don't you think Bill would have been upset if he made the wrong call? You know Bill better than anybody else in this conversation. Don't you think Bill would have been upset?
He's not going to throw any. That's not Bill. He's not going to do that at all. That's one thing I can say about Bill Belichick that Mike Pettin has done.
So there's no way Bill throws anybody on the bus. The way he was laughing about it, I mean, is he that good of an actor? I would have think that you would have seen some sign of frustration, some little sign. Come on, Pierre.
Listen, what he's going to do is give Matt Slater some humble pie in a meeting, a team meeting, and he's going to just say, you know what, you're a smart player, you know better. So the next time, this is what we'll do forever. Anytime we go into overtime, we want to receive the ball, give our offense a chance to go out there and score because we know we can do that. So that's something that they definitely are going to do. It's just that he made a bad call, and Bill's going to back his guy no matter what. Good win, lose, or draw. He's going to back his guy. He's not going to throw him under the bus. He's not going to pull, oh, well, Joe didn't want to play because of his finger. So, it was Joe's decision. No, he's going to back his guy.
Gotcha.
We're ruling out the NFL conspiracy theories that the NFL tried to fix the game or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
You're not buying that, are you, Pierre?
Nope.
No.
All right, let's go to Jake, who's back in Chicago with the Chi-Town Browns backers. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Better. Yeah, it sounds a lot better for us. Hey, so first of all, tell me about your group again. Wrigleyville and what bar? Red Ivy?
Yes, Red Ivy and Wrigleyville, just in the shadow of Wrigley Field.
And you have about 200 members online. How many folks, what's attendance been like for your games lately?
Well, we started off week one with about 400 people coming, and then now it's down to around 100. Because everybody was excited for this year, and now we've won 3 games.
All right, so general feeling, how many of those 400 do you think will be back next year? And what's it going to take for you to get back to 400 for the Browns to do in the offseason?
I think every year hope springs eternal, and they really show up because Browns fans, as we all know, are really good. So I think they will show up, but, I mean, for them to consistently show up, they have to have the excitement that they had last year through, the first 11 games being 7-4. That's, we have to have relevant games in December. That's the problem. They always show up the first month, and then just December, it's pretty brutal.
All right, Jake, what's your take on Johnny Manziel? Should he be the starting quarterback next year?
I think if they have an option, maybe, but we've had just such a problem with quarterback controversies of very mediocre quarterbacks. I say give him a shot. Why not? He hasn't been the worst quarterback we've had, and I think he deserves a shot at that starting job.
So what do you do with the number 2 right now, the number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft? What do you do with that?
give him some playmakers. I mean, look at what Julio Jones did yesterday. And we have Phil Taylor, or used to have Phil Taylor, and it's no joke. We definitely lost that trade, and that just pisses me off, like thinking about what could have been.
Mike Pettin, does he stay next year?
I want some stability, as everybody does, but the fact is that it's kind of hard to keep him. I don't see how they keep him, but I think we can, because every time it's just nobody wants the job when they go calling to everybody's office saying, "Hey, how about coming to the Browns?" and click.
All right, so but is it Mike's fault or is it Ray Farmer's fault that he doesn't have any talent on this team?
I definitely think the blame has to be placed a lot onto Ray Farmer, and I don't know. I don't think Pettin's a horrible coach, but I don't know if he's necessarily a good one.
Gotcha. Hey, Jake, again, big Steelers game for you. Hopefully folks will come to Red Ivy in Wrigleyville if they're watching this on the podcast.
And also, I want to say one more thing.
Sure.
I'm down here visiting my mother-in-law in Florida. Went to a great Browns bar in Naples, Browns backers here in Naples. And I encourage all Browns backers, visit other Browns backers, and because they are all awesome.
Outstanding. Jake, thank you. We appreciate it. Have a great week. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Thanks for chiming in.
You do the same. Thank you.
Okay, Jake Wilkoff joining in from the Chi-Town Browns backers. Matt Lodi is standing by from SteelersGab.com. There he is. Hi, Matt. How are you?
Hey, guys. Good morning. How are you?
Good. You're not driving, are you?
Nope. Hold on to the side of the road just for this, buddy.
Just making sure. All right. What happened to the Steelers yesterday?
It's the NFL, Andy. It's the proverbial case of maybe you read your own headlines, maybe you get a little bit too arrogant. They obviously laid what I would consider to be the biggest egg of the season against the Baltimore team that played their Super Bowl yesterday. Baltimore played a very good football game, and the Steelers didn't. And I feel like when you're talking about this time of the season and you're talking about rival games, you can't take them for granted. And I think the Steelers kind of threw their helmets on the field yesterday and just felt like they were going to be able to walk on that field and win against the Ravens team that, like I said, really didn't have anything to play for, but came out and played a really good football game. Ryan Mallett really surprised me. I thought he played really well under pressure. Javarius Allen and West, the two running backs, played well. And their defense stepped up against Ben Roethlisberger, which I think was obviously the key to the game. They got a couple of turnovers. They made stops when they had to, and now the Steelers are very much behind the eight ball when it comes to the playoffs again.
All right, but still that's got to start with a win next week at First Energy Stadium. What kind of a crowd do you expect for Steeler fans here on the lakefront?
Well, it's interesting because I still think it's going to be a very, very pro-Steelers crowd next weekend. I mean, I think that Steeler fans, I looked for a friend of mine yesterday at some of the ticket prices on some of those other websites that sell tickets, and they're very expensive, which tells me that Browns fans they just want to get rid of these tickets because they can make some of their money back on their tickets. And I think it's going to be, probably a 60-40 Steeler crowd next week. I think you're going to see a lot of Steeler fans at that stadium. And, again, I think the Steelers will come out. They'll play their game next week. I think they'll be a lot more focused. Obviously, now they need help to get in the postseason. They need Buffalo to come through against the Jets, which isn't necessarily impossible by any means the way the NFL goes, but I think it's going to be a very pro-Steelers crowd at First Energy Stadium for sure.
All right, and Pittsburgh will be able to rebound after last week. Is that what you believe? Or do you think the Browns can play for something and feel like, you know what, let's knock these guys out?
Well, I do think that the Steelers will play a more focused game. I think that they kind of got woken up a little bit yesterday. The Browns played them pretty good for about a half, or at least about a quarter, a little over a quarter in the game in Pittsburgh. I think it depends on what Pittsburgh team shows up. Under Mike Tomlin, the Steelers have always had issues getting up for bad teams on the road. We saw it again yesterday. We saw it a year ago with the Jets. You go back in Mike Tomlin's history, they do not play well on the road against bad football teams. But with that being said, with their backs up against the wall, I think the Steelers will come out and play a much better football football game. I expect it to be a pretty entertaining game, though. I do. I think with the way Johnny played yesterday and the way the Browns defense played in the second half, I think it should be a pretty good football game. I think it'll be a fun football game, but I do think the Steelers will find a way to win here in Cleveland next week.
All right, Matt, Happy New Year to you. Merry Christmas from last week, and we always appreciate your time. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Thanks, guys. Have a great New Year yourself. Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right, Matt Lodi, SteelersGab.com, joining us. 216-431-3820. Skype in at Dogs on the Run. We're going to get Kenny back on the line here.
First, we're going to get Garrett Downing from the Ravens. We're going to find out what they did to beat the Steelers coming up.
Is it you want to do? I wouldn't mind doing grade the team here too. So here's Garrett. Let's go to Garrett first, who is standing by in Owings Mills. Garrett, it was nice to see you when the Ravens were in town a couple weeks ago, which we're going to spend a little bit more time together. But first of all, what happened yesterday? And man, do you have a quarterback in the future? Are you ready to get rid of your old one?
Yeah, man. Yesterday was wild. I don't think anybody really expected the Ravens to play as well as they did certainly yesterday. And Brian Malik came in here. Only been here for 12 days, and I mean, he looked like he had total command of the offense. There was nothing that wasn't at his disposal yesterday. And I mean, it's going to be interesting. I've been just driving in this morning on the radio. People were saying, I don't know if you need Flacco next year. Ryan Mallett, he looked pretty good. I'm not going there, but he definitely looked good and can get back for sure.
Are you surprised at Ryan Mallett and what he's been able to do? Because the Houston situation did not work out very well. Bill O'Brien, it just seemed like they wanted to give Ryan every chance in the world to be the starting quarterback over Brian Hoyer, and he just couldn't win the job.
Yeah, and he couldn't really excel in the areas off the field. He had the issues where he missed the team play. He had the issues where he overslept and missed practice, and they had to send security out to his house to pick him up. But since he's come here, I mean, he's been pretty open about that in terms of talking to people in this organization about where he failed at Houston, and he admitted that he was immature and did things that didn't really, respect the position as much as he should have. So he's coming here, and I can tell you, he's been basically living out of this facility 24/7 since he's been here. I mean, I've been down there getting dinner at like 8 o'clock at night, and he's down there eating dinner with head coach John Harbaugh. And the other thing, too, is that talent's never been an issue for him. Like, this is a guy who was highly recruited out of high school and, ended up in Arkansas. He's huge. He's 6'6", has a big arm, all of those intangibles. It's just been the issues of whether he can kind of put it together upstairs, and he's off to a good start in that regard here.
All right, Garrett, what do the Browns need to do to beat the Steelers the way the Ravens did?
They got to find a way to stop Antonio Brown, and the Ravens have been one of the only teams in the NFL that's been able to do that, especially when Ben Roethlisberger's at quarterback. But Antonio Brown didn't score a touchdown against the Ravens this year, and he had 103 total yards in 2 games. So if they can find a way to do that, it'll probably be tough without Joe Keaton. But that's the key, and it's easier said than done. But if you knock him off the mark, then it kind of disrupts everything else. The offense is totally insane. So I'd start there, and then the other thing too, turnovers. It's an old cliche right there. The Ravens had a couple turnovers yesterday. You need to get those turnovers if you're going to beat a high-scoring offense like the Steelers.
Outstanding. Garrett, we will talk to you soon. We're just kind of up against it for the end of the show. We'll read you at ravens.com. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Baskin.
All right, we'll talk to you later. That's Garrett Downing, former great worker here, I guess. Probably set the standard for what Newsnet 5 should be when he was here running the show, right?
Yeah, I mean,
especially as far as sports.
Great kid, really knows his stuff.
He's great, absolutely great. So, all right, so we're going back to Kenny, and we'll do a little grade the team. Yep. Hang on, Pierre's got something. Pierre, what's on there?
He's talking about Ryan Mallett, right?
Yeah.
Mallett was on the phone together. We're tweeting each other.
I can't see it. I see that, but I don't want to read your.
You see it, but
I see it. It's okay. You don't have to show it. Just what you and Ryan were back and forth
on the show with me on Twitter talking maybe a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
I was telling him, young gun, go out there and do your thing.
Yeah.
And look what he did.
But did he give you any props yesterday in the post game?
No, he ain't giving me no props, man. I don't need all that.
That's weak, man. Why didn't say, hey, my inspiration was this? All right, let's bring Kenny back in. We go to the triple box, and now we're going to do grade the team because we only have 5 minutes left. So, Eric, the referee, let's fire away. Let's go.
Let me ask you one question while I get this set up.
Okay.
So Johnny Manziel, do you think he's back next year? Is he back? What do you put the percentage odds on?
Unless he made Jimmy really mad with his Christmas video, I think he's back next year. Look, I think the one thing that I've learned, and I've said this before, Johnny has appeared to be coachable when it comes to football. If Johnny has a mistake in the offseason, a stupid mistake, he's fried. He's done. I can't imagine why any franchise would want to bring him back. A guy who's a face of the franchise, and time again. If he has another mistake, it just proves to me Johnny doesn't want to be here. Johnny doesn't want to be a quarterback here. Johnny's not committed to being the face of the franchise for the Cleveland Browns. And he'll move on and they'll go somewhere else. But it's as Kenny has said time and time again, what happens 1 week from tomorrow until the draft is going to be the difference for Johnny Manziel's future or not. As far as I'm concerned, again, he showed me that he's coachable on the football field, but then he's just, his friends and what he does off the field just drives coaches nuts. Kenny, go ahead.
Is there enough there that he's a starting quarterback in the league?
Is he a starting quarterback in the league? I still think that's on the edge. I don't know. His height still scares me. The footwork yesterday didn't look good. His passing ability was not. Look, I know he's playing a good team yesterday, but I mean, there's a play to Gary Barnidge that I would think that good quarterbacks make, and that's a touchdown pass. So there are some plays that I know, and that happens in every game, so I'm willing to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, but he has got to mature, and he's got to be able to get better as a quarterback. To me, I don't know that I'm handing the ball game 1 next year to Johnny Manziel if I'm any other team in the NFL. The Browns, maybe. Anybody else, I don't think so.
Okay, how many days does he have off in the offseason?
Too many. How's that sound?
Okay, well, he needs to stay in Berea. He needs to live in Berea, stay in Berea, breathe, eat, live, everything in Berea until they give him time off. Otherwise, he's going to get in trouble. Trouble finds him. He's like T.I. He's a trouble man.
Pierre, do you believe that he will stay out of trouble in the offseason?
No.
Kenny Rhoda, do you believe that he will stay out of trouble in the offseason?
Hell no.
All right, let's grade the team.
We're staying on Manziel. Let's grade his play yesterday.
Okay, we'll start with the quarterback position. And Kenny, you can go first. C-.
C-, 13 of 32. When I think of quarterbacks, I think of a team that or a player that's supposed to be able to throw the football, make plays in the passing game, as well as lead his team. He did a nice job of leading the team in the second half, but that was with his feet. And you saw the punishment that he took. I wonder how sore he is today. And like I said at the beginning of the show, there's no way he lasts 16 games if he's playing this way each and every game. 13 for 32, $136 or whatever it was. Those aren't numbers I want to see out of my quarterback. And they lost the game, too, on top of everything.
Kenny, I'll give you my grade on that, and let me tell you this, and I'll show you the biggest reason why I got a C-. That's the number of times he was in the end zone. On a pass, right? Nothing. Yep. 0. That's the most important stat.
He didn't get in the end zone on a run either. Isaiah
21-yard drive.
The only touchdown in the second straight week they've had one touchdown or less.
21-play drive, and they came up with 3 points.
Yep.
Can't do that. Pierre, grade him.
I gave him a D. I just think that, as a quarterback, you definitely, I don't know where that B came from. I gave him a D.
A D. That's all right. Reading is fundamental when it comes to Eric the referee, so it doesn't really matter. D, you gave him a D.
Yes, that's dog.
A dog. Dog performance.
To me, you got to score points. As a quarterback, you got to put points on the board, and that's what he didn't do.
Eric the referee, next subject.
All right, let's do the running backs.
Running backs. Let me see. What did we give there? Let's start. We all gave him Bs. Kenny, just one-liner. Why'd you give him a B?
They actually got in the end zone, and they ran for over 200 yards. Granted, Johnny had over 100 of that, but Crowell actually ran fairly well yesterday, and he scored a touchdown, which is the object of the game.
Duke and Isaiah had over 100 yards, so to me that was good enough. That gave me a B. You did your job. You did a good job. Pierre?
They did their job, and that's what it's all about, getting yardage and scoring points.
Next.
Real quick question. We heard about the 2 Pro Bowlers. I mean, we finally ran the ball. But
are we done with grade the team?
We'll do one more after that.
We'll do the grade the team, then we'll move on to the next subject.
It goes with the running game.
Go ahead.
Do you think that Mack and Joe Thomas deserved Pro Bowl selections, or were they in because of their names?
Names.
That was easy.
Just say names.
It's a name. Gary Barnidge should be in Pro Bowl.
He's the one guy that deserves it this year, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe Andy Lee. I don't know. Go ahead, next. Okay.
All right, wide receivers.
What?
Grade the wide receivers.
Wide receivers. Let's fire that up. Oh, man, we are all in unison today. Let me give you your leading wide receiver, Travis Benjamin. 2 catches, 20 yards. Where's the captain on here? I don't see Dwayne Bowe with any catches. F. Kenny.
F. Ray Farmer's a joke.
Pierre.
Big failure. F. Flags everywhere.
Easy. Next. Is that it?
One more. Grade that defense.
Grade the defense. I actually think the defense had one of their best games yesterday. Look, Shikantrick only had, what did he end up with? How many yards? He had 62 yards. I mean, think about all the teams that ran all over the Browns all season long. Guys that I've never even heard of, that you couldn't pick up on a fantasy free agent list, that were running for over 100 yards yesterday. They didn't give up any points in the second half. I'm willing to say that Kansas City thought that they had this thing won when they went into the locker room at halftime. But still, I thought the defense played okay yesterday. I didn't have a problem with it. Not at all.
I gave them an F in the first half, an A in the second half, and that averaged out to a C.
That's fair. Pierre?
I just gave them a D-. I mean, at the end of the day, if they stop people and get the ball back to the offense, hopefully Johnny can score, but that's not going to happen. And the coaching was terrible.
They did,
so,
Pierre. They stopped the defense. I mean, they stopped Kansas City's offense at the end of the game. They gave the offense a chance to score. They put them in a position with 2 minutes to go out there and win the game.
So
as bad as we have just, you know what, all over the defense. Go ahead.
It boils down to coaching as well then, huh?
I think so.
Mike Pettin deserves a D- or F, and give the defense a C then. How about that?
All right, I got you to change your mind. What else? Is that it?
That's it. Final thoughts.
Wait, I'll even hit the button on this. Hang on a second. Oh, there it is. Final thoughts. Kenny, quickly, let's just do a little rapid fire here. 1, did you see Star Wars? Yes or no?
I have not, no.
All right, I won't spoil it for you. 2, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Give me a prediction.
Ohio State 38, Notre Dame 27.
Who's Michigan's in the what? Citrus Bowl? What are they playing in? Buffalo Wild Wings Bowl?
It's the Wild Wing Bowl now.
Yeah, I went last year.
Playing Florida.
Yeah, what do you think? Michigan win or lose that?
I'll be rooting for every team in the Big Ten this year in their bowl game. So I'll be pulling for the Wolverines and the Big Ten.
It's well played and very smart.
17.
Pierre, Notre Dame or Ohio State?
Oh, Ohio State easily. I'm never going to get no Big Ten team in the bowl game.
Will the Big Ten? I'll throw this at you real quick. Yes or no answers. Will the Big Ten prove itself in the major bowls here to be the elite conference that we all want it to be? Pierre, yes or no?
Yes.
Kenny, yes or no?
Yeah, they'll win more than they'll lose in, I think, 10 bowl games they have. So they'll have a winning record in their bowl game.
There you go. Final thoughts, Kenny Rhoda.
First of all, I want to congratulate myself for winning my fantasy football league, the Winky Dinky Dogs. As a general manager, I was able to make acquisitions throughout the season. I started 2-5 and finished by winning 9 straight games to crown myself as a Super Bowl champion, winning the Money Bowl. So if the Browns are looking for a general manager, I am available.
What's the name of your fantasy league?
My team name is the Winky Dinky Dogs. If you've seen the movie Hollywood Shuffle, you'll know all about the Winky Dinky Dogs.
Is it D-A-W-G-S or D-O-G-S?
For this show, you can spell it D-A-W-G-S,
right.
But in the movie Hollywood Shuffle with Robert Townsend, it's spelled the regular way. Winky Dinky Dogs.
Well, here, let me give you a little sign.
Come on.
Congrats to the Winky Dinky Dogs. Nice job. Pierre, final thoughts.
Some things should not be said.
Everything he said. Happy New Year, guys. Appreciate it.
Happy New Year, you too, man.
We'll see you next week on the last Dogs
Monday.
Well, you know what? If we do have a crazy week next week, we probably will have a special Dogs on the Run on Monday or Tuesday. Just let you know.
Hey, what's up with the Browns game, man?
What's up with what?
Are you going to the game?
Of course I'll be at the game.
Okay, well then I think I may come with you.
Okay, you're with me. We'll bring it in. Kenny, we'll see you next week too. Thanks a lot, guys. That's Dogs on the Run. Thanks for watching on the podcast. Again, we tape Monday mornings at 7:30. Dogs on the Run. See you later.
God bless.
Bless, guys.